How's it going, guys? Sorry I missed the video last night. I was feeling a little under the weather, but try to put one together for you here tonight. Couple things we're going to go over tonight. It's just going to be a quick video on some tools. We're going to look at a set of refrigeration gauges. We're going to look at some different styles and types of refrigerant hoses, and we're also going to look at a special torque wrench designed just for mini split units and flare fittings. So let's go ahead and get started with the gauges. I'm sure most of you have worked with these in the shop. I know the 9th graders haven't really got to mess with them too much yet, but this is what a standard set of refrigerant gauges looks like. And one thing I want to point out to you on here that's super important with the gauges that you're using is all gauges are going to have a label on them as to what refrigerant they actually work with. This particular set works with R410A and R22. And if I can get zoomed in here close enough, I'm going to show you the scales on them. Okay, so if you guys look real close, you can actually see R22 and 410A labeled there. And the pressure reading around the outside, that's going to be the same no matter what refrigerant. But on the inside, you can see the 410A has like a pink ring with numbers on it, and the R22 has a white ring with numbers. That's going to play a very important part when you're trying to check superheat and subcooling. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on that. And I'll give you a shot here of the other side. We'll get into an in-depth lesson on refrigeration gauges at another time. Alright, so that sums it up for the gauges. Now we're going to look at some of the hoses, different styles that you are going to see out in the field. And the first one is going to be your most basic standard style refrigerant hose. Let's see if we can get a little close up on that. This is what we mostly have in the shop right now. The next runner-up is going to be what they call a low loss refrigeration fitting. These particular hoses are made by Yellow Jacket. They're still currently used to this day. The only downfall to these is the size of the fitting. There's certain units I can think of in particular, like Rheem and Ruud. Their connection on the unit is so close to like the liquid line by the king valve that you can barely fit one of these in. So there is a newer style of the low loss, which I'll show you here. Now hopefully you can see the difference. It's fairly significant how much smaller the JB style low loss is than the Yellow Jacket. The other thing is, for quite some time we were told that we were never to use this type of low loss fitting on a 410 unit because it wasn't designed for the pressure. These are specifically designed for 410A pressures, which are much higher than R22 pressures, and this is what I personally use on almost every set of gauges that I own. So that's a nice fitting. Both of them are rebuildable. However, these are affordable to rebuild. These you might as well get a new set of hoses. Now this style of hose is what everybody was using when 410A first came out and first became popular. And basically all it is your standard issue non-low loss hose with a ball valve on it. I never got into these. I honestly don't really know what the deal was, other than I think they were just trying to push a new product on us. So there's that. And this is a vacuum hose, which you can see is significantly larger in diameter than a standard hose. This is a 3/8 fitting. This is a 1/4 inch fitting. And you would commonly see these on a 4-valve manifold set. It makes an enormous difference in your recovery time when you're vacuuming a system down, just because you have so much more volume through this hose. So we'll definitely use these in the shop. Almost all the new vacuum pumps have provisions to fit that big of a connector onto the vacuum pump. So these definitely really will shave some time off pulling a vacuum on a unit. All right, this is a special torque wrench set specifically designed just for flare fittings. Mostly you're going to see these being used on mini split units. So let me open this up and kind of give you an idea what's in the box. So as you can see in the box, there's several different size heads that fit inside the end of this thing. There's a chart in the box that has a different listing depending on the tubing that you're using on the mini split, and it'll have a different torque spec for each different size. So I can show you here quick how this goes together and how you set up the torque on it. So you pull the wrench out of the box. We're gonna say that we're using a 17 millimeter on a 1/4 inch line. That simply pops in. The torque rating would be 13 pounds. So you slide this into the unlocked position and you spin this until you hit the 10 mark. I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be able to see, it's a really tiny writing. But once you get it to that 10 mark, you spin it up to the 3, you lock it in, and now you can torque down your fittings, and you know they're going to seal up right for you. In order to take the heads out, there's a tool that comes with it. Simply push that in the back, pop the head out, back in the box, you're all done. And with any type of torque wrench, you always want to zero it back out when you're done using it. So that's pretty much going to sum it up for the little tool tips tonight. Like I said, I was feeling a little under the weather last evening and most of the day today, so I didn't get to work on one of the outdoor units to continue on with our preventative maintenance stuff. But just keep looking for things on Schoology. I'm going to keep posting stuff there, and hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.